I am at Sir Monolith on the Twitter right now, planning to have some new things here in the future, but for now it's pretty much just hanging out here and playing games on Ree's channel.
All right, next up, Quinn.
Hello, my name is Quinn. I do a lot of DMing and playing in Dungeons and Dragons. You can find me on the Twitters at Q Sellers or under the Mercenary Storyteller. But just for intros tonight, as a reminder, I'm playing Erik, who's well, we'll find out what he is in a second. I don't know.
He's something.
he's something. Something happened. We'll find out where that goes.
All right, next up, Carly.
Hi, this is Carly playing Bonnie. You can find me here. And on Twitter at Carly Plays Games. Nothing really going on right now, just vibing.
All right, next up, Kira.
And of course, Windows would give me a display right when I was just trying to unmute. Hi, I am Kira858. I normally like to save my announcements to the end of the stream, but I am playing Chiharu Samson, who is a very relatively unique individual. Well, like I said, if you see season 1, you see all of the madness they had to go through. Who knows what season 2 might be? We'll see.
All right, last but certainly not least, our newest player, Small Shadow Snack.
Hi, I am Ari. I occasionally torment Ree, which is all the time, but I will be playing a new character today. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Small Shadow Snack. It's possums. I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Right? I was like, wait, no, you're not. False
All
advertisement.
right, and with that, our cabal has been introduced, which means it is up to me to give out a warning. The world of darkness can be a dark and cruel place. It is imperative that you take the time to take care of yourself, and if that means you need to mute the stream or leave or do what you need to do so, please do so. Well, I just said do so back to back just then. I have spoken with all of these wonderful people, and I've gotten their limits and things like that, and I believe we are going to sit here and torture them in a fun and happy way. But now that all that has been said, it is time to return to the world of darkness. In our last season, our season finale, our cabal managed to help their cabal mate defend their home against a onslaught from a group of werewolves known as the Black Spiral Dancers. In a not very careful use of fire in a forest, they managed to do so. They managed to create a number of unique weaponry, something that would probably not do well for them to do again, but when do mages learn from the wisdom of the ages? In this session, however, our mages are reconvening. They have been called to a meeting grounds in their chantry on the 4th floor of the pyramid. This floor is designed to look more like the deserts of old. You all have been brought to a stone table. On this table is a smorgasbord of food. Some modern, most of it ancient. There are fruits that are uniquely colored. Some look to be grapes but are of purple and green color. Others seem to be wine, but as you attempt to drink from them, they seem to be bottomless. And as you all are waiting, I give the 4 of you, Erik, Oliver, Chiharu, and Bonnie, the floor. What would you all like to do?
Just to clarify, how long has it been since the last episode?
It's been about 3 months.
Oh. Does Erik look any different by chance? Does he have horns growing out his hair?
Listen, I didn't want to bring it up.
Dragon Age or something. or Mass
Effect.
Effect.
Roll perception.
Green. Yeah.
Roll perception and awareness for me at difficulty 8.
Yeah, I really want you to roll well because I have no idea what he's going to say. Like, I would like to also know what I look like.
You said awareness and Okay, good. You said difficulty 8? Ooh, though, that's a good lord. Okay. Oh, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes. Your companion seems fine to you, but every once in a while there's this feeling you get. It's not quite uncomfortable. It's not quite wrong, but there's an antiquity to him that seems to come and go every so often. It's almost like staring into a tablet or an ancient statue. And you've attempted to kind of focus on that feeling, but the more you search for it, the more it seems to elude you.
Erik, your key is occasionally different at times. Did you do something?
Exuberant, ecstatic. Yes, I'm doing much better. Thank you for noticing. Changed up my diet a little bit, you know.
Have you been meditating?
I've been meditating.
What have you been
My
seeing?
meditations have changed since I've practiced what you've showed me, but yeah, I think it's helping.
I'm glad. There's definitely some differences now.
We all have to change.
Oliver, Bonnie, good to see you.
Bonnie is sitting there for some reason,
Oh.
stroking an orange cat menacingly.
Has
You
it
as
been this
well.
long already? Oh, Bonnie, you have a new cat.
No. I found it in the alleyway, fighting off some large dogs.
It tracks.
That's courageous.
I have decided to take it as my kin, as it has shown great bravery.
And
What
what does
about-
Thing feel about that?
Perhaps
I
it's a
forgot your
werecat.
hand's name.
Do they have warehouse cats? Chiharu, do you know?
I do not know, but I did have the same question. I recall you having a box and something shaking within it.
The box is in the chair next to her.
Is there harmony between the two?
More or less. That is less. But it is as it shall be, as it should be. It's your turn to have the Tamagotchi, by the way. And she slides the Tamagotchi across the table towards them.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I kind of missed it.
There are some decorative skulls on it.
Ah, I see you've left your mark.
Of course there is.
I have tried very hard to kill the darn thing, but it persists.
Perhaps because it wishes to seek enlightenment. Well, thank you. Do you have a time for when you would like this back?
I suppose a month is sufficient. Give it a little bit of hope before we crush it.
How long has this Tamagotchi been alive? Like it should have died in the 80s, right?
Too
I
long.
was not born in the 80s. I do not believe
In the 90s. I don't know, whatever the kids are into these, I don't know. 90s? When did Tamagotchis come out?
I think it has a little solar cell on the screen, Erik. Maybe that's what's been keeping it going.
What has been going on with you three? Any changes? Any new news?
Oh, just boring things. Looking for new books. reading older books. Lots of stuff with books.
Yeah. Boring. Nothing really going on. Meditation stuff. Nothing exciting in my life at all. Hey, Bonnie, has
Erik.
your mom's forgiven us yet? There's
And
no way the lie's been going on this out of character. There's no way the lie's been going on this long, right? Like your mom clearly knew we were full of shit after the.
I
Right?
thought it was established that that she did not believe us.
Perfect. Okay. Has she forgiven us yet? I feel like your mom would hold a grudge.
I no longer have to wear this stupid wedding dress. So I suppose
Okay. More importantly, has she forgiven me yet?
why does that matter?
Well, it's important to me.
Erik, I think you need to stop worrying about what other people think about you.
How long have we known each other?
It was the olive branch, perhaps you two sharing ownership of the cabal? Maybe they saw that as a step forward?
Well, I do make sound financial decisions, so I mean, I guess that's helpful. When parents are looking for prospects for their children, I'm just saying, a strong financial. You know what? Never mind. We'll just. By the way, we do have to finish up that leasing agreement.
Are you planning
Making
on
a note for the storyteller.
Parents still do that? Prospects?
I don't get out much, clearly, if that was not clear.
Well, I understand, possibly, because we still haven't heard, well, the biggest news. Yeah, we haven't heard much about who came through the incident not too long ago. Has there been any update? Did you try searching for her? What's the latest there?
Well, no one came through. Someone tried to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure OC. I'm just trying to recall last season. I did mention who it was. Right, it was Jessica. That was clear. That was public knowledge, right, for everybody?
Oh, sure.
Mhm.
Okay. I've attempted to reach out to wherever she was, but no, I have not made any significant strides to finding her. She's clearly somewhere not where she's supposed to be.
perhaps I can help you? If we work together, perhaps it would be more effective.
I'm willing to try anything.
You know you have my support in this. You just let me know when
Thank
you
you.
wish to.
Thank you both. I'll keep that in mind.
Was this something you wish to do relatively soon, or something you wish to postpone?
No. I'm just kind of waiting for the universe to give me a sign, if that makes sense.
Chihara looks towards Bonnie and says, "Are you like this as well? Is this part of your tradition?"
The inertia?
Yes, the waiting for the universe to provide a sign of sorts. I know what's my insight? I'm pretty sure my insight is garbage. Because I'm not. There is no insight. There's no insight.
There's not. That is
On
not
game,
a-
bro.
That is not an ability in this version.
How are you supposed to know if someone's lying or not in this game?
Empathy.
Oh, yeah, I got no doubts there. Okay, cool. So I'm still the same way. So yeah, Chihara would not recognize.
I don't get any of that either. Yeah.
No, this is not typical of my tradition. We're often the we often use our talents to affect the turns of fate.
Hmm.
Erik, have you been working on your abilities? Have you been working on this?
Yes, through self-discovery and meditation, I am expanding my abilities as best I can.
Have you been practicing it?
Yes, I'm just waiting for the day that I could level up.
Level up. That is
You know,
an interesting way of
it's
saying it. I
a
don't think I've
technical
ever heard
term.
of this before.
Level
Sounds
up.
like a video game.
I like that term.
Have I made
Level
plans to further my education, my magical prowess? Yes, I have. It just hasn't come to fruition yet, but
But have
I've
you
made
been
plans.
practicing? Has it seen any practice? I
I have
think
been practicing all of my abilities. Yes, the best.
You know, if you
best
need
of my
some
ability.
literature,
trying to
Eric, I do have an
contact
extensive
your
library.
I
ex-fiance.
probably have spent a lot of time in your library, Oliver, over the past 3 months.
Probably.
As you all are having this conversation, the air around you begins to distort slightly, almost as if it's become liquid. And a moment later, you see a hand begin to push through. Just after that, a man, bald-headed, with kind of looks to be a eyepiece on the left side of his face, and some sort of kind of odd helmet-like thing going along on the right side, steps into view. Close behind him is another individual. Elias, would you like to tell us what you look like?
Elias is probably around 6'1", light blonde hair, light blue eyes, sort of dressed a little bit more like a professor, but he's got tattoos coming up underneath his sweater, and he just looks disgruntled at this point.
The first man looks at all of you, and he hesitates for a moment. It's so hot in this world. Anyway, hello. This is Elias. I'm told you all have met before, yes?
Oh, nice. It's been too long.
Too long.
Hmm.
Is it always a desert?
Here, yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, in game, how hot is it? Is it really?
It's at upwards of 90 degrees.
Oh yeah, it's scorching in here. I can't wait to leave.
Why are we in here again?
This is where the pyramid is at, right? The Umbra. Well, this is the Umbra version, right?
You are on one of the floors of the pyramid.
Mm-hmm. What are the floors of the pyramid? So we're in the Sahara Desert floor of the pyramid. Is what you're
The
saying?
sweat lodge part of the pyramid, minus the sweat, because it's got
We're in the
0%
armpit
humidity.
of the pyramid.
The armpit.
Effectively. Right.
We couldn't get a
So-
cooler.
To answer your question, Leia, yes, it's hot all the time. It never relents.
Right,
Right,
so
well,
it's a dry heat, right?
I was asked to make this introduction or to bring you five back together. I'm also supposed to give you all your keys to the chantry. I assume that you'd prefer something more specific to your tradition. Is that correct?
Sure, why not?
But we all
Sure.
have different traditions, but I'm presuming you're
Yes.
referring to Erik and Bonnie, correct?
All four of you, really? Listen, if we're going to have this conversation, I'm going to need for you all to speak up. There are so many things that could be being done, and wasting time on slow conversations is kind of boring.
Well, That's not my strong suit. I speak slow.
Wonderful. Anyway, as I was saying, you all are supposed to receive your keys. I can give you tangible keys, or I can give you something more specific to your individual tradition. It ultimately makes no difference to me. The sooner I can complete this task, the better for me, mostly.
Oh, well, let's go with something more specific, at least for myself. I can't speak for the others.
I am curious what you have in mind.
Of course. And he reaches into a suit and he pulls out what looks like a small black tablet. And you see him wave a hand across it, and it opens into a hard light construct about the size of a computer desk. And you see him begin to kind of parse through the information on the screen. And as he does so, he reaches into the light, but instead of his hand passing through it, it's almost as if the light becomes liquid. And as he does so, he pulls out what looks to be a white and black martial arts bandage. He holds it for a moment and kind of looks at it, and he goes, right, this is fine. And he tosses it to you, Chiharu.
Chiharu reaches out and grabs it. Thank you. This is a beautiful sight.
Yes, it is very fancy. And he does a similar thing, and as he begins to pull items out, he begins to toss them to each of you. To Oliver, you receive what looks like a ancient scroll on kind of yellowed paper. And as you attempt to open it, he kind of holds up a hand and he goes, Don't open it inside the chantry. None of you should use these inside the chantry, to be clear. You would either be transported to another spot inside the chantry or collapse space on yourself. I'm not entirely sure which one. I'm not the one who made them, and I've never particularly cared to use them since I rarely ever leave here. And then he hands something to Bonnie, and it almost looks like a black rose. But as you all kind of look at it, it seems to decay and then kind of revive, almost as if it is constantly going through a state of life and death over and over again. Then he hands a similar one to Erik. Your flowers are odd. Don't lose them, because you will not get another one. So you will need to learn how to make these for yourselves. Ultimately, they will each allow you to come back here. They will work for you once per month, give or take a day. What else is important to know? If you lose it, we won't give you another one. They only work for you. That's everything. Elias, you should be able to re-enter using your cell phone like normal present day people. I believe that was everything I was supposed to do. Are there any more questions?
Yes. Who are you?
And how do you know Elias?
Right, I am Trenton. I am a net explorer of the Mercurial Elite, or the virtual adepts for people who still use that term. Elias was taking care of something for the Chantry, and as indirectly for me as well. That task has been completed.
But you two were partners.
I suppose you could say that. We were technically in the same place at the same time.
More like
Sure.
colleagues that work in different departments.
Yes, we were more like colleagues.
So you guys kind of like our IT team?
Sure.
Because
Well,
the internet speeds around here have been really slow lately. Eric's having trouble accessing the library in a timely manner. I don't know. Maybe we could get better Wi-Fi or something.
Elias seems
I-
unamused.
I will be sure to speak to someone about that.
I'm having trouble accessing my stories on No Sleep.
All right, Elias, this is your responsibility now. I am leaving.
Absolutely not. This is why I don't come here very often. It's always an
Oh.
IT problem. Always. I'm not doing
We've
it
missed
anymore.
you, Elias, so much. We're so glad you're back. We have we've queued all of our problems. We have a list for you to get on. Just you make all of our lives better.
Should we write it on Oliver's scroll?
Trenton, if I push the button on my cell phone, will it teleport me into a volcano?
No, it will not.
Damn it.
I get into the volcano floor of this place, which is not very pleasant.
Well, you did say if we were in here when we did the thing, it may collapse space-time. So,
Well, really, yours may collapse space-time. Well, ours are better. I don't understand why the Order insists on using scrolls for everything. But that's a separate conversation.
Did you conjure these, or did these come from our traditions?
They were created by one of the masters from each of your tradition. I do not know which one, so I cannot tell you, but they do not like to spend their time creating too many things.
Chiharu's going to roll his index finger and middle finger around the bandana and attempt to sense the key to detect who was the master that crafted his bandana.
Roll a perception and awareness roll. Difficulty. Well, actually, roll your Arate first.
All right.
This is I assume you're trying to use a magic for this.
Yes.
And not your natural senses.
Yes, that's correct. What's the difficulty?
But this will say 6. Well, no.
6.
3 plus, it's a perception effect, so it's 4.
Oh, 4?
Difficulty 4.
Oh, 3 6. 3 successes.
Wonderful. So that will reduce the difficulty by 3. So the difficulty will be 8 to this.
It went from 12 to 8? I was like, what? How do you roll a 12 on a D10?
There are rules for that, but it is difficult to identify the works of masters.
Wow. You're
Wow.
on
They are
12 on a
masters.
D10. You're on 12 total successes.
Okay, you said perception and awareness?
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 8? Okay. Wait, 2 10s? No, this is it. B5. What do I need? I need 4 dots of perception in order to have that as a crit, right?
Yep. 4 dots, either perception or awareness.
Ah, okay.
Or this
Holy
prime.
crap! This was a great roll. So that's 3 10s and 9, and then 3 and 2 2. 4 successes.
You have seen this aura before, this key before, and you recognize it as one of the 3 masters from the Akashiana, the Akashic Brotherhood, and you've never had the opportunity to have a conversation with her, but you know that she is the 2nd oldest member of the Chantry, and it is believed she has reached Archmastery in mind, but she's never confirmed it or not. You can tell because her key, it feels almost like what crystal clear water looks like. It's almost as if you're staring into something that is trying really hard to not be noticed.
And am I aware of her name?
Yes, you know that she goes by Clear Mind, though you know that is more of a craft's name and not her actual name.
Okay, so Clear Mind, 2nd oldest in the Chantry. Wow. Right here. An Archmage. So after discovering who crafted the item for him, his eyebrows raised just a hint, to be to indicate the surprise from who it was, and then returns and says, "Thank you, I appreciate it."
Wonderful. Good luck to all of you. I'm going to do something much more interesting. And he turns, and then someone says something. You see space begin to distort, and he steps through. And the five of you are left alone.
Elias, did you have a pleasant relationship with that individual?
It's fairly like that most of the time, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I'm not good in terms of words.
Oh, we're just colleagues.
Hmm.
My tradition tends to be more independent little pods between each other. We come together every once in a while, but we're mostly solo.
I see.
I don't dislike him. Fairly neutral.
Interesting. He seems combative in a way. I was not certain how that matched with your personality.
It was fairly normal.
Just to be clear, I was joking about the list of technical issues that we're having. I'm fine, but Oliver does have a Wi-Fi issue.
I kindly refer to you to one of the adepts or the masters that are already here. It's not my job. Not my job here. I don't get paid to do that.
They pay you?
No.
You get paid?
Sadly.
Wait a second.
At my job, yes. Here, no.
So how does it feel be back with the group?
You missed us a little bit, right? But
Oh, good lord. To be honest, I was finishing up my shift when he came and yanked me, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get in trouble for that later, but
It's fine. That's fine.
From who?
Your work here is more important anyway.
Alright, so what's been new with you guys?
Oh, some little balefire here, a werewolf there. Just a little. What was that thing that we found? Erik found a new house.
Chiharu tries to secretly fling
Bought
a
a new
penny
Bought
at Oliver's rib. Be like, "Hey, don't talk about the werewolves. Elias doesn't know about the werewolves or his connection with the werewolves." So he's trying to be as secretly as possible to Oliver to be like, "Don't spill the beans." But
Is he saying it
No,
out
he's not
loud? Is he
saying it.
like?
No,
He's like,
what
hey.
No, what he does is he grabs a penny from out of the side of his pocket and softly flicks it at Oliver's ribs. Just be like on the side. Hopefully that no one else sees it but him, and just to try to get his attention.
can Erik see this and understand its meaning?
If you are trying to not be seen, roll me dexterity and stealth. And anyone who would be paying attention can roll perception and alertness. Difficulty for both rolls will be 6.
Should I roll to see if I notice that I got hit with a penny in the side?
I mean, you definitely feel it as they miss. So
It's a difficulty 6.
difficulty 6. Yep.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Successes. Okay. Elias does not notice. Erik, you notice something. You aren't sure because it kind of flies really quickly, but you definitely notice something. And Oliver, you definitely feel a object slam into your chest.
Chest?
Oh, it's
Below
the
the-
rib.
Well,
the
if I
rib.
saw it, I know
The
what
stomach.
he's freaking out about.
It's like, huh?
Yes, we were attacked by
What was that?
werewolves from the Shadowfell. It's from outside people we don't know. Yeah, it was crazy. They just showed up out of nowhere, tried to kill us, but we fought them off. That's The only relevant thing of werewolves that I'm aware of. Or that I
We blasted
know
him
about.
right good, didn't we, Eric?
Yes, we did. Yep.
What was that?
Just us. Just.
Chihara knows that he would be the worst liar in the world with his manipulation of whatnot. So he's not saying a single peep about this subject.
They stood no chance against my beautiful baby Augustus Phineas Wu Tristan. Oh,
Our
didn't stand a chance.
child.
Well, that's a mouthful,
Our child.
Eric.
Well,
Oh,
there's-
it's right off the top.
yeah, our child.
What do you think of an acronym for it?
In
I'll
other
work
news,
on it.
Eric and I are homeowners.
Together?
Yes, but it's unrelated to our child.
Marriage? Oh, what? Oh, that. Never mind.
Oh, I was about to say congratulations. The 2-story house, single-story house. What did you guys get?
Single story house, but it has a huge basement.
The basement's the best part.
Because of the caverns where we found it's just like tunnels all in the Belf. Yeah.
And the node.
Also, we own a node now, so we're going to be renting that back to the Chantry. So for some additional income, gotta put your money to work. Every penny, you know what I mean? That's
Whatever
Well,
you were
they
thinking.
lost it through the foreclosure, so
I would say charge them twice as much as you guys were thinking.
I mean, they can
that's
literally
exactly what I was thinking. Actually, it's funny you bring that up. Yeah.
Is it that
Because they're not just
illegal?
renting the property; they're renting the node underneath the property.
A valuable resource instantly becomes very, very valuable.
I
It's
never
true.
understand how this works. That sounds like extortion to me.
Potato, tomato. It's
Yes, so we dealt with a lot, but we are now safe and sound in our own establishment. But it seems you will be staying with us.
I will be visiting. I have my own house. But yes, I should be around a little bit more frequently.
You looking to sell
Splendid.
by chance?
It's partially my house. You would have to have a conversation with my spouse.
Are you guys looking to sell? I'm
I
just
don't
throwing it
know.
out there. I'm
I'm quite fond of having my own home.
Eric, all this
Okay.
talk of business is off-putting. We should celebrate. Time for a round of drinks.
It's your spouse, so aware of
I could
what
do
we
it this
are.
time. You and me.
Oh.
You and me, Oliver.
Oh yes. He's a chorister.
Oh, very well. Yeah, it makes
He's a-
things.
he's a- He's a what? Gesundheit.
Celestial
Good.
chorister.
yes.
The ones that sing.
He's in a choir.
Well, he is Welsh, so
what songs does he sing?
yeah, I don't pay any attention. He's in Edinburgh right now. Some lecture thing.
Does he teach musical theory?
No, history, ironically.
How long have we known each other? How did I not know you were married?
Were we invited to the wedding?
Yeah. Oh, see, were
We weren't invited to the
Were we
wedding?
invited to the wedding? Yeah, oh, see, what that?
You know, we've been divorced twice. You may have been invited to one of them.
Classic on again, off again.
You know, currently we're working things out again.
Are you off or on?
We talk. It's getting better. We had a disagreement.
Can I look at Elias's hand to see if there's a ring on the finger?
Yes.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Can we discuss my complicated personal life out of this desert? It is quite hot.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Is there a nice, cool, soothing layer to the pyramid?
You
The
would be
Seattle
aware
layer.
there are
I didn't know we were
There
just
are-
hanging out in the scorching desert. Yeah.
there are a
Working on your
number of
tan.
different floors and zones within floors that could be more comfortable. All you'd have to do is want to leave and have a general idea of where you do want to go. So, where does everyone want to go?
The
Is
California
the pyramid?
version. Well, the pine trees and the nice 67-degree
I
weather.
was gonna say, is the pyramid kind of like a TARDIS where it's just like rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms and impossibly long, and we can go anywhere we want technically? Like anything's
Yes.
possible in here.
Yes. So I will.
Mordenkainen's
So
magnificent
you all are
pyramid.
going to attempt to go to someplace a bit more comfortable, and there are a number of locations. I will say you all are able. You do know that there is a beach that that is usually frequented by the cultist.
No. Yeah. Sand. There's a really nice garden that Bonnie and I visit from time to time. Just don't touch the flowers, or smell the
You would
flowers,
like.
or look at the flowers.
You would.
Or
You
get
would
near the
like to
flowers.
return
I
to
believe
the
I got a
garden.
clipping.
Did, yeah, it's in my notes. You got a death. I have it under my notes as quote unquote. You got a death flower.
If you would like to return to the garden, you may.
Sorry, I just realized I don't think I got something that time. Did I get something that time?
I believe you all got something.
Mm-mm.
Can't remember what
we-
Shaharu got.
Yeah, we did because you were going
I
to
remember
say
Chikara
because
got something.
I wasn't in that. I wasn't in the location where that take place. I was actually back. I think I was at somewhere else. I think I was at the Brotherhood, and so I didn't actually get an item. So you were going to say you were going to send it to me after the session. I just now remembered it because of that. I was just like, oh crap. Oops, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, I the only thing I have for you, Charo, is that you went and sought out and spoke with someone named Chin Mei.
Mhm.
That's right.
Through the U.S. Postal Service. That's why it's not here yet.
I will get that to you after the session.
No way. You guys.
But so
Sorry, that hit
you
hard because that
all-
just happened to me today. Go ahead. Sorry.
you all return to the garden of beautiful but deadly flowers. Is there anything? Are you all looking for anything? Or are you just enjoying a peaceful walk?
You're just looking for something that was a little more comfortable temperature-wise.
Mhm.
But
just-
I suppose we should get on to business then. What has everyone been up to, and what are we? Is there anything on the agenda? I was in the middle of a good book, so but I mean, it's always time for that later.
I'm sending you messages, by the way, in Zoom. But if you want me to do it in Discord, let me know which one's better. As I'm remembering stuff, I'm making notes to you.
I'm glad you're a good note taker.
I legit have a memory issue. Like I can hardly remember most anything that happens in my life. So yes, I have to take a lot of notes.
Mm.
I mean, I'm still dealing I'm still dealing with some personal things. And with Jessica. And one of the things that I learned was that there is some kind of fetter or an object that belonged to Jessica that I need help finding. So if you guys are still offering.
Just better. What does it look like?
I don't know.
Well, can you sense it? You know, maybe sense its presence somehow?
I have all of you make me an intelligence and occult roll. If you have a lore for necromancy, you can substitute that instead.
I didn't write it down, but again, another note that I took is at the last episode of last season, is Erik is spending his time learning about necromancy. I don't know if anything ever came of that, but
I would say if you spent your time, you would be able to gain the skill lore necromancy at first step.
Okay, but I have
That'd be-
so you said I could replace occult with necromancy, or do I get an extra dice if I know necromancy?
You can switch the two. So you have lore or occult. You
That's
can
the-
use either one.
That'd be the same amount. Doesn't matter.
Well,
Is there whoa!
unfortunately, Bonnie knows negative. Bonnie knows nothing.
10, 10, 10.
Bonnie's
So-
never heard the word necromancy before in her
Trying
life.
to roll, it's not rolling. It's
What
weird.
was the DC? What was the DC?
6.
4.
And you said
Cool.
if I have 4 dots in one of those 2 attributes, then I do count crits.
Yeah, it would depend. You would have a specialty, and if that specialty applied, well, let me know. Then you could yes, but it would depend on what the specialty is. So you
Creative, I don't
have
even know
one.
what that is in intelligence. Like 4 dots in intelligence.
I would say creative would not apply. That would help you more for like a creativity standpoint. This is more like a if you know something standpoint.
Okay, what was the difficulty again?
6.
So 4 successes.
Oh,
But we'll
Hey,
start with
3
Bonnie
tens.
since Bonnie's
3
roll
tens on
has
that roll.
started. Bonnie, you are aware that for necromancy, fetters act as kind of a binding chain to the spirit of the undead, and that you would want to get rid of them in order to allow that spirit to be able to pass on to the next life. Elias, how many successes did you get?
4.
All right, Elias, with 4 successes, you know quite a bit. You are aware that a fetter is something that is important to the soul of the undead. They don't necessarily have to be positively aligned with them. It could be something they like or hate. They are capable of doing many different things, and you know it is imperative that you keep a fetter safe. You have heard stories of the destruction of a wraith that loses all their fetters, becoming something dark or twisted. And you know that gaining something's fetter allows for you to summon it and bind it to your will. You know that for the most part, the virtual adepts don't do much necromancy. That tends to be more under the domain of the Euthanatos, but there are occasionally some of you who attempt to commune with the spirits of dead technology with varying levels of success.
3 successes.
All right, for you, Oliver, you are aware of, also, you know most of the same thing as Elias. There are many members of the order that dabble in necromancy, including those who attempt to enter the Shadowlands or the world of the undead in search of lost knowledge. You know that gaining a Wraith's fetter can be quite useful. They can be very good for certain kinds of tasks amongst the undead, amongst spirits in general. They tend to be easier to manipulate. There are fewer really powerful ghosts than there are really powerful spirits. And there's a whole branch of necromancy that can be done with them. Should you get one?
Interesting.
Assuming I don't learn anything else than Elias did.
How many successes did you get?
4 with necromancy.
Then, for the most part, you know what Elias does. You know that for your tradition, messing with the dead is generally frowned upon. You want to let dead things lie, though there are some who have made deals with the dead to honor or protect their fetters in exchange for some sort of task. All right, I think I got everybody.
So yes, Jessica has a fetter that is tethering her to this world, preventing her from moving on.
Wonder who made that.
That's what I've been trying to find out. Or why.
That is probably the better question.
Are
In that
you?
case, we must get rid of it to make sure she passes on.
How much do you know about Jessica's past, Erik? what was going on with Jessica before the two of you met that may have, or was this part of something that was happening while you two were together?
There was nothing in our past that would give me any indication that she would be involved with anything of my life now. This was before my awakening. It's one of the catalysts of my awakening, and she didn't have anything in her past that that I can think of that
well, to the
would
best
want
of your
someone to
knowledge.
cause her harm. Yeah.
Yes. Interesting. Well, this obviously warrants further investigation.
Indeed. It seems like there must have been a blind spot if someone was able to take control of her spirit before you were even awakened. Is it all right for us to perhaps travel to the location where this incident took place? Maybe we could investigate the scene and detect any type of magical essence that may be lingering from that incident.
This was some time ago. I'm in our apartment. Yeah, if you think it would help, of course. I don't know who lives there now, or if, you know.
Well,
What's the-
to start somewhere, right? It's as good of a place as any, unless you can think of somewhere else to go.
Sounds like we got time, so.
Or if you have any of her belongings.
I'm sure I would have kept something of hers.
Do you have any way to contact the spirit world, Eric? Perhaps, I don't know how it works exactly. It's not my field of expertise, but perhaps I guess you could maybe ask around.
I do not, but I'm sure we can find someone.
How about you, Bonnie? You like dead things?
I was going to say, I'm able to sense spirits if that's what's required.
Well, I'm sure it'll come in very useful. We all have our particular strengths, and it's good to it's good that those strengths are a little spread out. We can't all just be good at the same thing after all. Well, I guess we could, but you're kind of redundant.
And
With our powers combined.
I believe that, and I disagree that Jessica's death may not have any relation to anything magical or suspect. If it is the catalyst to your awakening, perhaps the two may be related.
Well,
It's
especially,
more than a little bit of a possibility.
I think it's a very big possibility, Bonnie. I mean, given that he found that there's a what do you call it, a fetter keeping her tied to this plane, seems like more than just a mere coincidence.
Never
But it's
considered the
beyond my
possibility.
expertise.
But now that you say it out loud, it would make sense. But that means she wasn't targeted, and perhaps I was.
Do you have any known enemies? Anyone who would wish you harm, you or your loved ones?
Were you a bully, Eric?
No. I grew up in the suburbs. I was in med school when this happened.
A strange family history your parents talked about.
I mean, my dad has bad cholesterol, but I don't see how that's relevant.
Yes. Unfortunate, but
Cholesterol is a killer.
definitely not magical.
Yes, I told him he's got to drink that coconut water.
Right, rub some coconut water on it.
that good cholesterol and fighting the bad cholesterol, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have an instructor after you were awakened?
I think my biggest mentor after I was awakened was you.
Really?
No, no. After I had my awakening and learned what was possible and delved deeper into our world, I don't know. I was drawn to you guys. I don't know. I mean, I know now that we have past lives, but no, I did not
Perhaps.
have anything of a mentor, if that's what you're asking.
We don't need to talk about the monastery incident, Eric.
That was one time.
To
It
clarify,
was a lot of fun, though. Would do again.
see, are we aware of if Elias is supposed to be connected to us or not?
You have no idea?
Chihara will look towards Elias and say, "Are you aware of this by chance? Not the
The
Eric.
monastery incident, absolutely not. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, me either. I don't remember this so long ago.
Just water under or over the bridge. You know, one of the two.
Depending on what position you were in. It. Never mind.
Ah. So much
Elias.
alcohol.
Do you mind if I search for something within you?"
Phrasing.
I
Two
not
dots. He is,
sure that
horrible words.
that
Go ahead.
is define search, because there is multiple ways this could go, and I am warning you, I am armed and not afraid to use it.
He wants to see inside you. I mean,
Yes.
you know,
In a friendly
like
way.
yeah, but like in a good way.
But not a very friendly way.
Why would you consider that I am threatening you? Why bring up the firearm?
You know what? It's been a long day. What are you looking for?
Elias Chihara doesn't understand that what he's earnest and never mind. We've known him.
He's a gentle soul.
Yeah. He doesn't understand phrasing.
If you told me what you are looking for, I could say yes or no.
Very well. I am searching to see if you're connected to us, or would like to search to see if you're connected to us. For we have a connection among our own that we recently discovered.
Oh, sure, as long as it's not gonna hurt.
Might tingle a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Now this would be interesting. I think how Chiharu would use this among his tradition is he will probably try to manipulate the key around them to see if there is a similar avatar connection to essentially the Tower of Babylon, like we're connected to, or if Elias's avatar seems to be separated from our connection.
So there are two options. You could attempt to see their avatar. If you have a mind 3, spirit 2, and prime 1. I believe. Let me double check that.
I do not have that though. I have. Wait, say that one more time.
Mind 3, prime 2, spirit 1.
I had everything but the mind. Crap. Okay.
All right. Then it'll be a bit more difficult, and you will be kind of sensing for a similar feeling. But you can roll me, let's say, your arting, and it will say the difficulty will be 7.
Okay. Yeah, we're just chilling. So I'm not expecting any combat today. So I will go ahead, and this is important. So I will go ahead and use A point of willpower to give me a guaranteed success. Okay.
That was your first mistake. Always
Right?
be expected.
Always expect combat. Okay, nice. 3 successes with the willpower.
Wonderful. And we will discover what that does when we return from our break. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us so far. We are going to leave for about 10 minutes, and then we'll jump back in to see where our mages are sent and see what they get themselves up to. All right, welcome back. So, I believe our young Chiharu was in the middle of trying to discover if Elias has a similar connection to ancient events. With 2 successes, there is a 3 successes? Okay, even better. You can tell there is something familiar. There is this sense of ancient chants that seems to be familiar with the rest of your cabal mates. You can't say it for sure it's the same thing. Your abilities are limited in that sense, but it feels the same.
I think there is a particular reason why you're with us. It makes sense now. You'll learn. You'll see one day. Relatively soon, perhaps, if that incident happens again. Everyone remembers what took place last time? When we were brought back to... We were aware of what that place was, right? We knew any character, like, where we were.
You've seen it before, but you don't remember exactly where it was, but it was familiar to you.
Okay. Yes, we all saw a place. We shared a vision. But it definitely was not just a vision. It definitely felt real, like we were there before.
It was. It was us long ago when we weren't us.
And you feel like you are part of that connection in a way. So it makes sense.
I'm not exactly sure what you are talking about, so I think this is where I nod and just agree.
It's hard to explain, but we're all connected in a way because of where we came from. It's unique in that we started from somewhere and now we're here. And you are part of that connection on that road to enlightenment.
Kind of looking at everybody else to see if anyone else is like doing anything because he's confused.
You probably just catches Oliver looking down, scrolling through PDFs on his phone.
Bonnie's nodding knowingly.
Nah,
Erik looks just as confused.
Nah, it's a spot. Well, that is good to know. And it makes sense now why you were brought here to join us.
Right. Aren't we supposed to be looking for a fetter?
Yes.
Well, that's just something that I would like to do. I mean, I'd appreciate the help, but we could do whatever.
I mean, I'm no good with spirits, but sure.
Oliver stamps his cane down on the ground a couple times. Jolly good. A ghost hunt. Let's go. It's getting stuffy in here again.
Really? Very well. Chiharu kind of stands up. Oh, I guess we should explain what our characters looks like. This is, so first time you actually got introduced to him. So Chiharu is about 6 feet, relatively young, looking around 18, 19 years old. He wears a white hoodie that is sleeveless. And he looks to be a biracial descent, of half black, half Japanese. Has long curly locks that you can see through the hood. There's tattoos all across his arms. He wears very loose pants and looks to be combat sneakers in a way. Everything looks very form-fitting. So therefore, if he needs to do a Naruto ninja run, he can. That's what my character. Yeah, obviously. That's what my character looks like.
Okay.
Trying to see if I wrote down I didn't. That's okay. Well, I remember my guy looks like. He looked very different when he was like, everything was going his way, right? He was in med school and he had the fiance and all that. But then after that, so he's got a similar hairstyle to me, but he's got longer hair, shaved sides, beard, but he looks very like disheveled. He's got like a military green jacket on and like loose fitting like military boots. Kind of like he just went into an army surplus store to buy clothes. That's essentially what it looks like. He's smarter than he looks because he looks like a bum.
Oliver is probably between 3.5, 4 feet tall, and he's dressed up in a little suit, some little dress shoes, and he always tries to look fairly sharp, in most cases, and carries around a little cane with a kind of jeweled handle that he may use as kind of a focus for things, along with some pens and notebooks that seem to pop out of the inside of his jacket from time to time. It's strangely flexible. So you'd think the clothing wouldn't be as what's the word? Flexible, because it doesn't look comfortable. But it seems to work out. He seems to be able to move around in it, even though he's not that strong yet.
Yet.
One of these days, more plates, more dates.
His constitution is very strong.
Oh yes, as clearly evident with his alcohol drinking.
Trick is you use 2 bottles, right? And you drink from one, and you spit it out in the other when they're not looking.
Now, is it just me who's getting the picture of the Monopoly Man when I think of Oliver? That's
the bejeweled.
He does have a short beard.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, I can't remember if I described him originally as having. I don't think I described him with a handlebar mustache. Although he did have a monocle, I think.
Mm-hmm. I remember the monocle.
I think he had a monocle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if there was a top hat though. I think the top hat would be, it might get in the way sometimes. Maybe I want to pull a rabbit out of it at some point, perhaps.
Nice.
Only for children's parties.
Not to entertain his cabal mates.
Well, special occasions.
Not a birthday.
Yeah, why not? We'll pull a rabbit made out of prime out of the hat.
A prime rabbit.
I believe you all were wanting to attempt to search for this woman, this spirit. Is that the case? Okay,
It
so you all
certainly sounds like that's the way we're going. Hey, buddy.
You all are aware that the Chantry has public rooms that can assist you with performing rituals. Either areas that are called sanctums that you can use that are stocked with everything you may need. You all also aware that things that are done in there are not private information. You never know who may be watching you should you use them. So I ask you all, do you seek out one of these locations?
Yeah, let's do it.
I got distracted by a cat. What are we doing?
All
Um,
these cats.
You all have
Everyone,
access to areas that will make your spell casting easier, but they are not private. You may use them or not use them at your decision.
Well, they're inside the chantry. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're worried about others here at the chantry, I don't know that that'll be a big problem.
Yeah, I guess we might as well. As long if Erik disagrees with, for like in terms of secrecy sake, then of course stop. Otherwise, yeah, I don't have no issue.
What do I have to be secret about?
Well, so we're going to be doing the searching for the fetter, like knee deep in the chantry, which means that it's pretty much like working in a public library. So if information is revealed in that location, whoever may be looking in that same time frame may become aware of what we're searching for. So as long as you're not concerned about the chantry, prying into our business.
Yeah, my past, I never thought I'd have anything to do with what I am today. I don't have anything to hide. If it's a means to an end, if it helps me get her back or help her move on, then yeah, let's do it.
Okay. In that case, I will say, Erik, you definitely have an item from this person that could be used in this ritual. And I will assume that you are going to a location that is a bit neutral. So an area that won't be as beneficial as it could be, but it won't be detrimental should any of you decide to assist in this ritual. So you all will have a -1 to this roll, whatever the difficulty may be. All right. So, in order to do what you are doing, you will need someone who has at least correspondence 2. And they must use the fetter in the ritual. Do you know where you would like to search? The larger the parameter you attempt to use, the harder it will be to find them. But if you pick a place that is too narrow and the person is not in that area at all, it will fail.
Well, first, does anyone have correspondence to?
Nice. Yes.
The only one with correspondence in the entire group, I think. Well, for right now, anyway.
Why is the only person with a cell phone?
Yeah.
And then the item that I would have would be the ring that I gave her when I proposed. I would still have that. And then as far as the search area, just because I don't know how this works. Do you mean like if we're searching in a specific room, it'd be really easy, but if we're searching in a city, it'd be difficult? Or I mean, what's the...
Your parameters can be as large as you want, so it is entirely possible you could attempt to search the globe itself, or you could search all the way down as a single bedroom. Each one has its benefits and its negatives. If you didn't know at all where she may be, you could attempt to search a very large area, but that will make the difficulty harder. But if you search a very narrow space, you will only look in that space, and if she is not there, then your ritual will fail.
And it's the fetter that we're looking for?
No, you are looking for her. Your ring will act as a fetter to her.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood how fetters work. I thought someone had a fetter, which was tying her and controlling her.
You know that I would say you would be aware of this. A wraith can have multiple fetters. And to summon a wraith, you would want to use a fetter, regardless of who that happens to be. So as far as you know, someone has found a way to summon her. They may have a fetter, or they may have done something different. You will need to investigate to figure out exactly what is going on.
Would Erik have revealed that he has a fetter to her?
I mean, I didn't even know what that was. So no. I have an
Wait.
object of hers.
Yeah, I'd say, does Eric actually have? Oh, is the object count as a fetter or?
Yes, a
Well,
fetter
apparently
is
any
just
object,
an object that is important to the
Ah.
spirit.
Okay.
They could be anything from a ring to a child to a book. Anything that is significant to that person when they died.
Okay, so that
Yeah,
doesn't
at the-
necessarily mean that it had to have been somebody magic that necessarily got the object. The object could have just been, I guess, something stolen by somebody, or I don't know, something else that could have happened. Maybe somebody who you didn't want having said thing had said thing, and it's kind of causing problems for her.
And then how? Okay.
Chiharu will look towards Bonnie and say,
But I'm looking, but I want to search for her spirit. Is that right? That's what you're saying there, right?
Yes.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind would be our apartments in LA, where she died, or I thought she died, or she was. I don't know if I've ever described the event that happened, but.
All right. Elias, since you are the only person doing this ritual, I will allow you to perform the ritual in a location that will be beneficial to you as a virtual adept. As a result, the level of the sanctum will increase, and you will know, however, you are fully aware that it is not a private place. Any other virtual adept may be able to see what you are doing. However, you will get a -2 to the difficulty instead of a -1.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So, thankfully, the difficulty will not be modified by not being in Los Angeles. So, since you are searching a very specific place, I will say your difficulty will be, your final difficulty will be 4. And because you are in a sanctum, the effect will be coincidental.
So I'm rolling my Arete.
Yeah, rolling your Arete.
I feel like he pulls up his laptop and pulls up the address on like Google Maps. It just like zooms into it.
Oh shit! I could have done that. Yeah.
Let's see here. 2 successes.
You begin the ritual, and you are able to connect to some of the more powerful computers in this lab, and you begin to search for umbral entities, spectral beings. Nothing shows up.
Nothing so far.
Is this a one and done thing, or can we continue
You
to
can
try?
attempt. You can attempt for as long as Elias has stamina to continue.
I have
So,
stamina 3.
So we have 2 more attempts.
For now.
Chiharu will look towards Bonnie and say, do you think we can reach out and bring her here? Because Erik has a connection to her with the ring.
And I suppose if it's a feather, then there should be some ties to the spirit that we can use to pull her here.
Mm-hmm. I would suggest that as an option if this seems to fail, to see if we could be able to talk to her.
I don't know if I'm strong enough in spirit to be able to pull her here. But perhaps if we were able to, perhaps if Elias and I were able to work together.
See, what is needed spirit-wise to be able to bring a spirit to a particular location?
For this, you would need at least a spirit 2.
Yeah.
Spirit 2.
I only have spirit 1. So I'm thinking, so out of character, Elias and Elias and Bonnie were to combine spirit and correspondence.
So OOC, Chiharu has spirit 3. So that's why they say we was going to work together with Bonnie to kind of work, bring their spheres together.
It wasn't clear to me that you were. It wasn't clear to me that from Chiharu's words that they were saying that they wanted to work together.
Yes, Chiharu is the worst when it comes to language.
It wasn't clear to me.
Mhm.
So it just sounded to me like they were saying Bonnie should do it alone.
Yes. So I just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to check and see OOC what your spirit spheres was, because I wasn't aware of that before I presented for Chiharu's also recommendation. But good to know that you're at spirit one. But yes, Chiharu. Oh, in character would say, I think if we work together, you and I, we should be able to call out to her and bring her here. I have a stronger connection to the spirit world now since
You also have some proficiency in spirit.
the recent adventure back home has opened my awareness to the spirit world, especially coming across a unique spirit that seems to watch over the Karen. Yes.
We should traverse some cemeteries sometime together. I have much. I anticipate that I have much to glean from the experience.
It is a unique experience in its own right. Because the Karen location was a cemetery, right? Where I met the what was I think it was
There
the
was
Fox.
a cemetery there, but it was more of a
Yeah.
nature reserve.
Gotcha. So yeah, Chiara would say it was a bit different. There was a cemetery where I was at, but it was a bit closer towards the natural aspect. But yes, I would love to traverse with you one day.
As it is, perhaps we can try to call her spirit here.
Mm-hmm.
But and this may be a very this may be a delicate subject, Erik. But I really don't think that it would be best. Well, first of all, what is your goal here in trying to contact her?
If we cannot on our own find the fetter or the person who is using the fetter against her, and perhaps she would know to point us in the right direction.
But once we find the feather, what is your plan?
To destroy it.
All right. So how do we do the ritual to call her spirit? Because I'm assuming since Chiharu is the higher in spirit, you would be leading and I would be assisting.
That is true. See, Chiharu was going to wait to see if Elias was able to locate, because Elias had a couple more dots left of spear in stamina, if I recall. So Chiharu
Yeah, two more tries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Chiharu will say a character, I will wait. I would, especially something that's sensitive. I would prefer to wait, and allow Elias a few more tries before we go down this road, as I know seeing her face to face could cause problems.
So you want to try two more times? I'm trying to think of where I would search for her. So would this be something that I would assume she would, like, she's tied to a place, right? Like something she would be familiar with?
It sounds as good a reason or attempt as any.
Where did you propose?
At our apartment. But that's not where we met. We met at the hospital.
Or which hospital? That there's quite a lot in California.
LA hospital.
Cedar Sinai. You would use Cedar Sinai. That's like the classic one where Hollywood folks go to.
Yeah, we'll do Cedar Sinai Medical Center. There you go.
Mhm.
Right. We'll
Is that
give
or
it a sh-
UCLA? Pick one. Yeah. No. We'll go Cedar Sinai. Yeah. I didn't get that detail of my backstory, guys.
Okay. You are attempting to search the hospital.
Mhm.
The difficulty will be same.
Still two.
2 successes. You attempt to search the hospital, and you do find lingering traces of spirits, but not the one you're looking for.
You know, I think the hospital is a nice magnet for spirits, but I don't think she's there.
Instead of doing a specific area, you could try just doing a more generalized search in LA.
Okay. All right.
Might be more difficult, but I mean,
You know, compared to actually having to dive into the web, this is actually not that bad.
All right. Los Angeles is a large place. So your difficulty will be 7 after the reductions from the Sanctum.
Three successes.
You spend some time searching. The area you are searching is absolutely massive. And just when you believe that things are not going to work, there is a moment where you pick up something. It's very faint, but it is in a cemetery. You recognize it as Hollywood Forever. Can I have you make a willpower roll, Elias?
Just all of my willpower?
All unspent willpower, which I don't think you've spent any so far, but...
Am I looking for any DC in particular?
No.
Well,
6. Numbers above 6.
Okay. 4.
4. As you are attempting to lock in on this spirit, something happens. You can feel death, stasis, that necrotic end of things attempt to latch on to you. Do you push forward in an attempt to learn more information, or do you give up?
No, I'm gonna keep pushing for it.
Right. You push forward. Your computers are strained, and you can see some of the keys begin to blacken and rot. But you keep typing. And for just a moment, the rest of you can see this necrotic energy begin to burn the tips of Elias's fingers. But on the screen, you see a person. They seem to be Italian, you think? Their skin is desiccated, old, and in the palm of their hand, you see a spectral gray cage, and coming from the middle of it are shadowy tendrils. And they seem to be pulling something inside of it. Do you keep watching? Roll me your arte.
All of us or me?
Just you.
Oh Lord. What am I looking for?
A number. Well, the difficulty will be 6, but you will need a specific amount of successes.
2.
Oh, wait. No, hold on one second.
Uh-oh. Y'all like that second roll. Why has this will be dice to that second roll?
As you attempt to hold on to this connection, you see a spectral woman being pulled into this cage. And just as she disappears, the man turns and he looks toward you. The rest of you can see on this screen this desiccated and gray-skinned person looks directly at you, almost like an actor looking into the cameras of a TV show. And he cocks his head, and you feel pain, Elias. Pain set into the center of your very being. Roll me your stamina to see if you can soak any of it.
Uh-oh.
6.
Difficulty 6, yep.
Uh-oh.
1 success.
You take 1 point of bashing damage as it feels like one of your ribs cracks. And then your connection to this vision is ended.
All right, maybe I prefer the web. But Miss
Anyone else
Bonnie.
hear that?
Yes, he says it very much out loud. Okay, first off, Miss Bonnie will be happy we are going to a cemetery.
Yay!
But bad news is, I don't like the feeling of that.
Are you hurt?
I hate spirits even more than I did. And he just kind of like knocks his laptop off his lap and away from him.
Show me your wound. I should be able to help.
I think I cracked a rib.
That is fine. Then you'll see he doesn't even place his hands on the item. He just kind of like performs a gesture in a circular formation, and he's going to use his life 3.
Before you
got some
do
Reiki
this,
going on.
there is, I have to give you a warning. The location you are in is a sanctum for the virtual adepts, meaning virtual adept style magic will be coincidental. However, different magic is vulgar here.
Oh!
The beliefs of
he's
the
hurting.
Akashic
He's hurting,
Brotherhood.
man.
But does
Come
Chihara
on.
know this?
Bonnie's gonna use her mundane medical ability.
Give him ice pack.
Maybe.
Slap a piece of steak on it.
Maybe
Roll-
alleviate the pain for Elias.
Roll intelligence and medicine.
I was gonna say, can I help?
Difficulty
By the
6.
way, I was training to be
Sure.
a surgeon. It's literally my thing.
You can
All right.
you can both roll together for this.
Well, the difficulty
need-
is lower because we are working together.
Sure, I will say one of you can roll, but the difficulty will get reduced down to 5 instead of 6. You
I have
need
8
one
die
success.
in this roll.
All right, I have 5 dice. You roll.
Sounds good. You need 1 success, but if you botch, you will cause more pain than you instead of fixing it.
So surgery is a specialty I have, and I have 4 dots. So if I get 2 10s, it's a crit.
But this isn't
That's
surgery.
4.
I think we're stretching to count this as a surgery. I think this is a bit of a
I'm sure we could get a
stretch.
stretcher for Elias.
What was the difficulty, anyways? What were you saying? What was the number?
5. It was 5.
Okay, so I have 4 successes out of 8.
All right,
2 of us
you
are
are
10s.
able to bandage Elias's injuries.
Oh
I will
yeah,
say you
Elias,
can
we're gonna have to
remove.
straighten this out.
You
He
can
says
remove that
something rather
bashing
improper
damage.
that will not be repeated here.
You can remove
I'm-
that point of bashing damage,
yeah.
Elias.
Thanks, Bonnie. Just
All right.
hold this ribbon really quick as I I just put a wrap around it to kind of get some pressure.
It's Hollywood Cemetery, forever, whatever that fancy place.
Oh, sure. Me looking for spirits in the hospital was crazy, but where did you end up finding it? At the cemetery.
At the
Yes,
haunted
but-
mansion.
But not at the hospital. If the hospital was a magic,
Touche.
this is like a hub.
The cemetery was where she was last laid to rest, I would assume.
Quick question: the guy that was looking like Ju-on from the ring towards us, was he only looking at Elias, or was he able to see all of us?
You don't know. From what
We
you
weren't-
all
we
were
weren't- it
able to
wasn't our
see,
vision, right?
you were able to see it on a computer, because the unique benefit of Elias's group. To you all, it was the equivalent of an actor looking into the camera. You don't know if they were able to see any of you or what, but you could clearly see that they had turned and looked in your direction as if they could see something.
What was his appearance? Since we all see him, I didn't know we were all able to see on the screen.
They appear to be Italian in descent. Their skin seemed to be old and desiccated. Their eyes looked a bit sunken to you. I would say you all would know enough of what a vampire looks like in mythology that you would think this person may be one.
So now that we saw an actual entity, which I assume is related to Jessica, is there anything do I recognize this person, or is this someone who's maybe come from my past?
No.
No? Okay.
Never
so
seen them
no
before.
idea.
I hate to break this to you, Erik, but it seems we have an antagonist in this issue. He does not seem friendly, especially since he has hurted our friend Elias. But he seems to hold her hostage.
This is actually not news to me at all. I didn't know who it was, but I was very aware that there was an antagonist and they will die. Anyone want to go to Hollywood? Let's go to Hollywood.
Oliver slaps on a pair of shiny sunglasses. Yes.
How
Hollywood
does my
sounds good.
laptop look? Is it
You're the
still
one who threw it on the ground.
operational? I gently tipped it off my
You
lap.
did push it off of your lap.
You push.
He was sitting on the floor. He wasn't sitting in a chair.
Oh, no fall damage.
How does it look? He's more
probably
worried
fine.
about all the entropic stuff that was happening on.
It is still operational. There are some keys that seem to be damaged and kind of blackened, but you could
You
probably
can push this
still
back
use
on.
it.
It's fine.
I'll repair it when I get home. Shoved it back in his bag.
Well, that escalated quickly. Very well. I guess we all travel to LA. Is that the plan for everyone?
Road trip.
Road
Guys, some more
trip.
properties.
Oh, it's very overpriced out there, I've heard.
Could be could be a good investment.
So before we leave, could I leave this leasing agreement with someone to pass along to the higher ups? Probably
Sure.
Michaela.
You are aware there are non-magical people who would be available and be able to handle that for you, at least temporarily.
How do we communicate with
Perfect.
them? Do we have like a pneumatic tube delivery system in the chantry that just like shoots them out to the...
Fill up a
You can
scroll,
find
put
them.
it in a canister.
If you would like to do that, sure. Most people would just hand it to someone with instructions, but if you would like to be a little extra, more power to you.
Yeah, but like if we hand it to a random person, how do we know if it's gonna go to the right place? Like, is there a postal service within this chantry?
You're
Chantry
pretty
postal service.
confident people will deliver messages to mages, but if you do not trust them, feel free to use your magical abilities to augment or
Does
take
anybody
care of
remember
it
when
for you.
banks actually
By
had
the way,
these
Bonnie,
pneumatic tubes?
we're asking for 3K a month on this agreement. Yep.
Agree.
In Cleveland?
There's a note in the basement.
Okay.
There is a note in the
Alright,
basement.
we're going. What
The
if
house is an
you make
$800 house a month, but that
make
magical
a-
note in the basement.
Make a charisma and empathy roll, one of you, to see how well you do.
All right, Eric.
3 and 4.
Which one of us should be talking? I have 2.
I have 4.
All right, I will. Can this be a manipulation roll?
Are you attempting to lie or trick someone in the chantry into
No.
agreeing to this?
Okay.
I'm
So
trying to
remind
sell
me, willpower or how do I use willpower to get free successes? Is that what you're?
Yeah, that's willpower.
if I'm correct? Just check.
Willpower does that, yes.
Okay, and how many can I use?
Just one person.
One.
Damn it.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Is it difficulty 5 again?
I'm gonna say difficulty is going to be 7.
Okay, but like Bonnie's helping, so
You are quite literally charging triple,
Triple the
roughly
price.
triple.
That's what I was like, in Cleveland?
So if the difficulty,
I will use a willpower for this.
Only one willpower can be spent for, because only one of you is rolling.
so with difficulty 7 and a willpower, it's still 1.
But it's one success.
But it's
Wow,
one
that's
success.
good.
That is
Nailed it.
one success.
All right. So before you all set off, you write your letter and you hand it off. You
Well,
are
I don't
given.
write a letter. I write a renter's agreement.
You write your renting agreement, and it is.
Both
You are
sides.
told it will be delivered to someone that would be able to make decisions like these.
Great.
So while you all are attempting to take care of that, how do you intend to get to LA?
I mean, how did we get to Cleveland? We took a.
You
Took a
are
portal there,
aware
right?
that there are doors that can lead to certain locations in different places. You figure LA is large, that you could probably find one with
I was
enough
going to say it's
effort.
probably easier to get to LA than it is to Cleveland, Ohio.
You all
We
are
could probably
going
pick
to
the building we want to go to in LA.
All right, so you are going to make your way to Los Angeles. You know that the entrance will take you to a safe house of sorts. Is there anything you all wish to do before you leave?
Shiharu will send a message out to their family before they go. Just letting them know that they may not be back in Cleveland for a while as they're heading to LA. But if something goes wrong, please reach out.
Okay.
Same here. Sending a text to somebody who's probably asleep with a, well, we're going to go possibly find a vampire. Not vampire. He just like sends the little emoji. Love you. Maybe never see you again.
Reply
Okay.
back. Pick up eggs on the way home. Yeah.
I get some in and out real
Message
quick.
Message is sent. Okay.
Bonnie sends a message to her mom's by carrier pigeon. And it's just signed with we shall convene in my dreams.
I don't have anyone.
Very special. Very, very special.
Oh, I
And
just
so
saw
your good night, your goodbye, and see you later messages are sent. And if that is all,
Oh, just one last thing. Is it possible, since we are aware it's a vampire, is it possible to gather some info? Because mages Well, okay. Let's first rewind a bit. Since I'm kinfolk, I'm presuming I may have heard a little bit about vampires, right? But overall, mages have not heard much about vampires, correct?
Out of all of you, the Order of Hermes would have the most knowledge on vampire society. Whether or not they would share that with you all is debatable. With your time with the werewolves, you are aware generally of that's only some of the myths associated with vampires are true. As far as you know, mirrors have no effect on them. Stakes, don't actually kill them, but it does seem to kind of freeze them for some reason. And that fire is pretty effective.
All right. So in that case, Yahara will look towards Oliver and say, is it possible for you to gather some books on vampires before we go? We could study on our enemy before we attack, since Erik wishes to eliminate them post haste. But that's to Oliver.
I'm sorry, I missed that entirely.
So Chihiro looks towards you and say, is it possible for you to reach out to your library and see if you can obtain some books dedicated to how to eliminate vampires, as Erik seems to wish to eliminate them post haste. So I guess we should get the best tools necessary to form that.
I could definitely probably filter out some information and see what I can find. I haven't read too much on the subject myself, but I also don't think that I've made it through my entire accumulation of works. So there's a lot more there. I'm working on better ways to speed through content. There's so much information to absorb. Elias could probably appreciate that. With the internet and all those things, there's so much information and you just can't get it all in.
I was going to present that as a possibility. Perhaps talk to Elias to see if he has a way to streamline information ingestion, I guess.
Okay.
I believe there's a movie where they did that really well. Like plugged people in their spine.
Oliver, do you wish to check your personal library, or would you like to see if you can gain some information from the order proper?
Well, that's a good question. I think he might. Well, would I be sending out like a message to try and like wait for a response if I was doing to the order? Or
it would be to see if you can gain access to some of the more private libraries that the Order of Hermes possesses. Some of the more secretive knowledge may be harder to get on short notice, but you may be able to find something. You do know that basic knowledge on vampires should be easy enough to obtain for your organization.
well, given that I do keep my library digitized for easy access when I'm traveling around, how difficult would it be for me to, I guess, try to search through that first? Because he probably would go, that'd be the quickest thing he could think to try and do. And then failing that, might fall back on other methods.
Roll me intelligence in either your library background in dots or research, whichever is better.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop.
And the difficulty, since it would be your personal library, will be 7.
Oh, let's do it down here. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I don't know if any of that. I know we don't do crits anymore, so.
Do you have 4 dots of do you have 4 dots of intelligence?
Yes.
What is your specialty in intelligence?
Book learning.
I would say that'll apply here. That would definitely apply. So 10s will count double.
Okay, cool. So I mean that just brings me to 6 though.
Okay. All right. So, you are aware that the Order has a tenuous history with vampire kind. Specifically, once upon a time, the now defunct House Tremere abandoned the Order to become a group of vampires called Clan Tremere. You are aware that the Second Masasa War, or the War with the Undead, is officially on hold. The Order has lost a considerable amount of young mages in such a battle and have decided to not continue for the time being. You are aware that increasing such hostilities could be a problem. You are not aware what exactly Clan Tremere is. You don't know if that's all vampires or just a few of them. But you do know they possess a special magic. It is weaker than true magic, but it is more potent and easier to use. They do not seem to have any issues with sleepers or vulgarity, though you don't quite know why. You would also be aware that dealing with vampires on your own can be difficult. An individual vampire is generally not a match for a true mage. However, in numbers, they can be quite dangerous, and it is very important to not be turned into one or to drink the blood of one. You've heard rumors that a house was once nearly wiped out after a number of them consumed vampiric blood. With 5 successes. You would also be aware there are rumors of a different kind of blood magic that involves shaping the flesh, but you don't know too much about that one. That one seems to be either very rare or not directly involved with the Order.
Interesting. So would that give me like, I guess, pretty general basic knowledge as to like typical things vampires would be, say, weak to in general?
Yes, I would say you are aware that faith is the best weapon to use against them. Fire is very effective. Stakes are quite effective at immobilizing them, but it doesn't always work. The sun is still very dangerous against them. And enough physical trauma is also quite effective at killing them, but it has to be overwhelming.
All right, interesting. Well, beep boop boop beep boop boop boop. Well, that is a lot. That is a lot, Eric. But I think I may have found at least some of what you're looking for. Typical I want to say myth tends to fall somewhat, in line with reality. Stakes are effective. Apparently not all the time, but they can incapacitate them a good deal of the time. Fire, sunlight. Maybe you can bottle up some sunlight. That'd probably be useful. All sorts of those little things. Overwhelming physical trauma. That one's probably a little
I've
more
seen all the
difficult.
movies. Yeah, no,
Right?
it's-
Yeah, just blow
sounds
them up.
pretty standard stuff. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, of course. However, some of them have a variation of our magic, though it's not nearly as powerful. It's not subject to the same limitations that we have. It's different. So that might be something to be wary of. Though,
but lesser.
yes, far lesser. But still lethal. So something to be concerned about. Wouldn't underestimate it by any means.
Do you
Especially, we know so little about them that, I would just treat them all as being, paramount threats, right?
This is why I ask, since Erik wishes to eliminate his foe, we should best know our enemy before we.
Oh, indeed, it's good to know thy enemy. But yes, I think we should definitely find out as much as possible about our subject, so that we don't rekindle any, old wars by mistake.
Coming in?
Oh well, there was an old war that mages were waging on. I think they call themselves. Would I know that they call themselves kindredry?
Mhm. I would say sure. You've heard that term before. You don't know really what it means,
Sure.
but you've heard it.
Okay. There was a war on vampires, or some of them like to call themselves kindred. Perhaps that's a more acceptable colloquial term that they use. The vampire has a lot of connotations to it. And I don't know. Probably not good to be heard saying around the common folk. Might scare somebody. But
know your
we stopped waging that war some time ago, due to a staggering number of losses we were suffering. So that's been on pause for a little bit. Not to say that you can't kill vampires if you happen to need to, but should at least try to know as best we can. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Right? That's always a good rule of thumb.
How many
I mean, that's
vampires
all I do.
do you suppose there is in LA?
Oh, vampires? I would have no idea. I mean, it is Hollywood, right? I mean, it's already full of vampires of the humankind. I'm
I
sure
would
there's.
think since it's a huge city that we're not dealing with just one vampire here.
Oh, very likely there are many more than just one. Although, really, we have no idea whether they. I mean, if they're anything like us or the humans they came from, they probably have their own disparate groups and such. But there's no way to tell who is and isn't working together. We know so little.
Do you suppose the vampire would be sleeping in the cemetery in the daytime?
It's a possibility. Um, I'm that that could be a thing that they do. I wouldn't know enough about uh them in general. I think I read something about some of them sleeping in cemeteries, but they also sleep in normal buildings as well and other places. So it could be just about anywhere.
Interesting.
Elias, I do not wish you to put yourself in the line of fire too quickly. But since you've seen his face, is it possible for you to track him since you are aware of who this individual is?
I think we all saw his face.
Yes,
Well,
we've
well,
all seen him. Sis.
well, it's not like I know his name. I could try and search through some data banks to see if maybe we could find a match, but his face looked kind of it could be difficult. Plus, don't they live for like hundreds of years? Like we could be dealing with someone old.
I see.
And you were saying we saw that face on the screen that Elias saw as well, or
Yes. Y'all were able to see it on the computer screen.
Yes, it certainly looked old. Assuming that it is a vampire.
So I just wish to stress that we should be very careful when we approach this, because we are unaware of how many we are dealing with or who this individual is. The fact that you stated that vampires cannot really handle magic well, and yet this vampire clearly was manipulating a fetter like one of us. That must mean there must be some type of magical gifts that they possess. If they perform necromantic capabilities that
Who's to
individuals
say
are
what
naive,
type of yes, who's to say what type of unique gifts they have, Charu? It's I know as far insofar as the fallen mages, they were no longer able to manipulate magic in the sense that we do. They can only muster a shadow of what it once was, because of. I mean, I assume that there's some sort of issue with, you know, becoming a vampire and staying connected to your avatar. I've read that that's a very bad thing. You know, don't get bitten by them or turned by them, as it were. Don't drink their blood. All that leads to very, very bad things for mages. I'm sure it has some perks for normal humans, but it's not worth it for us.
yes, very well. I just wish for us to be careful, since this may be a threat, but it's larger than we originally anticipated, and we do not fully understand the strength and how many they may be here. So,
Oh, undoubtedly. You know, that's our entire lives as mages, right? We spend our time exploring the unknown. I mean, there's all manner of unknown supernatural creatures out there that most of us probably could never imagine. And this is just one of them. So, yes, I'm interested to see, but also a little apprehensive. We'll need to prepare.
I want to say I love you all. You're now my ride and dies, all of you. Because as soon as I say, "Hey, I'm gonna go kill this motherfucker," not a single question. You're like, "All right, where are they? Let's prepare. Let's do it. I got your back, homie."
what is a ride or die?
Best cabal I've ever been in.
Have you been in other cabals?
A number of them, I think. Technically the same one over and over again. So yes, but no.
Guess if we
Is
drop
that right, Ree? Or is this like
Sure,
reincarnating into
You
new
would've-
bodies kind of thing?
you might have been in other cabals. It's possible.
It's a possibility.
Perhaps it is the bonds we forged in our past lives that have caused our bonds today to be so strong.
Elias, this is what I was talking about earlier.
So are we going to be like researching beforehand? Can I fix my computer real quick?
I think you have time to fix your computer, Elias.
Good.
We need to work on on preparing the tools we may need for the foes we may encounter. I
Erik, what is-
believe.
So the idea of bringing a Molotov cocktail is wrong.
No, bring multiple of those if you can.
I don't know that you'd even need to bring them. I'm sure you could find the materials there.
Best laid plans. Be prepared.
I say that as I have my backpack like ready to go with my clothes and stuff, but next to it I have this giant 50 cal rifle. Oh yeah, bring a couple grenades too. Fun, yeah.
Down in your carry-on?
Does it have a flamethrower attached to it too?
Of course, it has a flamethrower attached
An
to it.
That will burn
Augustus
down the
Phineas?
house. Yeah, that will burn
Augustus
down the
Phineas
house.
always
Yeah.
has a flamethrower.
I'm sorry, but I also have we share custody of Augustus Phineas. It
Yes.
must be in my possession half of the time.
How is that thing to
pass it
carry
to you.
around, Eric?
I will hold it with my cat.
It's
and my
comically large,
cardboard
yeah.
box. That's
think we-
kind of
We're prepared enough. We're prepared enough.
Have you thought about adding a telescoping barrel?
I am now.
You know, if you get a good sight on that, you could hit with more accuracy.
I'm
Perhaps a
assuming it comes
magical
with a
sight.
sight. It comes with a when I got a sniper rifle, I'm assuming it came with a scope.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
A regular. I did have a
Okay.
inappropriately sized scope with it.
the flamethrower perhaps needs a bit more accuracy, but not that much precision.
I'm really good with distance. Maybe I could drop some plans.
You want to modify Augustus Phineas?
If you're going to do some big game hunting, perhaps you should get a blunderbuss.
I'm not against it. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I'm kind of for it.
I could come up with something. Work in progress. It's a big gun.
Well,
It's a 2-person.
and I look over to Bonnie. I'm like, our boy's got to grow up. I'm just saying, we get a laser sight or something on it.
Oh yes. Yes. Not things can't stay the same. It's the cycle of life.
It's the cycle of life. Cycle of life.
Ree, what would I need if I wanted to make temporary? I know temporary wonders are prime 3, but what would I need?
Prime 2.
Prime 2. Oh, okay, sorry. What would I need if I was going to make, say, like, I don't know, a bunch of glow sticks radiate sunlight?
To create true sunlight, you would want prime 4, however, and forces 4. However, there are cheaper alternatives to get a similar effect. If you were to attempt to use something along the lines of forces 3 to create a burning stick that would apply like fire, that is something you could do. If you were to use a correspondence 2 and forces 2 effect, you could open a gateway from a location that has sunlight to a location that does not. If your goal is purely to hurt a vampire, you would be aware, all of you would be aware, that prime can be used to enchant an object so that way it does pattern damage directly, which would be aggravated damage to any living thing, the undead included.
Would it be more effective to do like prime and life to attack?
If you wanted to use life, you would need a combination of life and matter. But prime and an appropriate amount of quintessence could be used to deal damage to something directly. It is most likely a vulgar thing to do, but it could be done.
So if it's a temporary wonder, the vulgarity goes to whoever's actually using it, right?
That is correct. And it depends on the object and what it is doing.
I'm just wondering if like you can make like some kind of object that would really only, that was maybe indirect but would only harm vampires. So if it went off around us,
you would need a combination of life 3 and matter 2 to
Okay.
make something that will hurt a vampire or a living undead creature.
Okay. Well, I don't have matter 2, so I don't know if we could. Well, it has to be the person who's making it has to have it too, right?
You can combine together. The requirement for a cooperative works like that is that everyone involved has at least 1 dot in all the required spheres.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Interesting. Mulling. Well, who here has? Does anybody here actually have matter, but also have prime and or life?
Not matter. But I
Got
can still
life.
take it. Yeah, I got
I got
life.
no
but
life.
I got forces though, so I'm good with punching a vampire in the face. But as long as you got prime, you can still also punch him in the face too. So prime 2 specifically.
And
Oh,
just,
no prime 2. Oh, man. That face though. That face is not.
just hook up a. Ooh, I wonder how much more damaging prime enchanted flamethrower would be.
Go on.
Have like a ooh enchant hairspray cans with prime energy and like a little lighter underneath, so that when you go click, it sparks and gives you a little mini flamethrower till the can runs out.
But we
That's
can have no flamethrower here.
that's true, you do, but that's just one thing for one person.
Well, yes, but we can modify it.
You duplicate it?
But what if Eric's busy and there's other vampires?
Yes, but consider flames that go different directions.
I think that sounds extremely hazardous to everybody's health.
Well, modern problems require modern solutions.
I think I'm with Oliver on this one. I think our flame should just fire in one direction.
But consider
Treat your flamethrower like a boy band and have them fire in just one direction.
But consider that if we have multiple enemies, we may require. She gets it.
Somebody found a bug.
Actually, yes.
I shaved mine.
So it sounds like you all wish to take some steps to prepare. So I will allow each of you to set out to attempt to gain some manner of preparations before your journey. And we'll start with Elias. What steps are you taking before you leave?
The sight of that giant gun / flamethrower hybrid, he is like, okay, so the gun part's got a scope. I want to make something that will help on the other side of it if we're dealing with a vampire.
Okay. Are you attempting to make a mundane object or a magical one?
Yeah, a mundane object.
I
Okay.
should
He
point
can't
out
make
we have
magical.
silver bullets for this rifle.
You can make a intelligence in either firearms or crafts. If you use crafts, the difficulty will be slightly higher when compared to firearms, since firearms is more specific knowledge.
Same
Ooh.
dice pool, and we're using firearms.
Ooh,
Okay,
ooh,
difficulty
ooh.
6.
Well, I don't have. You said Chiharu has forces.
Mhm.
We could. Now hear me out. We could craft Chiharu actual firearms.
Taking a picture of this.
Wait, what?
It would be it'd be like some sort of, I don't know how much use they'd get out of them, but like technically, right? Although I don't have forces, so I wouldn't be able to do that. Even if I was working with Chiharu, because we all have to have one dot in the sphere, right?
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
crap. I was like, firearms? Like,
Yeah,
how would
you
that
could.
work?
How many successes, Elias?
Well, all 7 dice were a success, and 2 of them are 10s.
That's why I need one dot in everything.
And I do have a specialty in intelligence of keen-edged mind.
I'll allow
Wait,
it. I'll allow
So
it.
that's 11 successes to soup up this gun? Oh, this Lasabra's going down.
Okay. Okay. So You are. Tell me, what is Elias attempting to create? What kind of attachment?
He wants to make a scope similar to the one on the rifle that will give her a little bit more accuracy when she's aiming the flamethrower side.
It literally tracks and fires the bullet, and the bullet arcs like Wanted for us. It just beep, 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 beep.
With those successes, you are able to create a site that kind of has one of those almost. It's basically a level inside of it. That way, when it's aimed, it's able to help you accommodate for both wind direction and the stability of a person holding it. So what that will do, I will say, I will give it a -3. I think that is the maximum. It will be a -3 on the fire roll. So you can jot that down somewhere.
I don't even know what to do with that information. Jot it down. Okay.
He just like
You
comes
put it
back and he's
in
got his like
notes or-
sleeves rolled up.
Maximum what on the fire roll?
A
-3?
-3 to fire. So the actual roll to hit something is reduced by 3.
That's
He
the
just kind of
best
like
you get.
brings it over to Bonnie and goes, "This is about all I could come up with." As he's like wiping like grease off of his hand.
And you open up the case, and the light blares out, and her faces light up. Oh!
Yeah, Bonnie whispers, "It's perfect."
I just start weeping.
Well, Elias,
I will give you two a
Elias
moment.
is-
I'm going over here. I sense emotion.
Our baby
What-
boy's so beautiful. He's all grown up.
What would UV light work to damage vampires?
as far you don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Simply, you don't know. So up next, Erik. How are you preparing for this journey to Los Angeles?
Sorry, who'd you ask?
Erik.
Oh, me. How am I preparing for
Come on, man.
this?
Come on.
These are great questions. I don't think. I mean, I was gonna help with the gun thing, but apparently I was not needed in any of that. So I just pack my bag and go. Well,
All that gunsmithing training went to waste.
got time to do a little sneaking. I don't know.
A little sneaking, a little drinking.
All right, Oliver. What are you doing before leaving?
Well, since I wouldn't know to think about the UV thing, because I probably don't have that knowledge, and also I don't know specifically whether it would work. I want to stick with things that we know would work. So I'll try to I guess rig up some little prime flamethrower devices with some I don't know, some aerosol cans that don't necessarily even have to be, like, they could be flammable ones. I guess we could do that, but you could also just have it so that when you spray it, it shoots out something that's laced with prime energy that's going to do damage.
Okay.
I assume, right? Like, would it be more damaging if it was enchanting like something that would light on fire, or would it just not matter?
So it depends on exactly what you're after. If you are simply enchanting an object, it would just transform whatever damage that item would already do into aggravated damage.
Gotcha.
If your goal is to create what are called charms, which are a single-use magical item, they usually come in packs or groupings equal to your Arte times 2.
Mhm.
If you have forces 3 and prime 2, you can create a group of these items, if that is something you would like to do.
I'm always short on all these. Fucking need forces and matter. You do so much shit with all the crafting. At least with this, anyway. Nope. I guess that's fucked.
If I may make a suggestion, I believe you have life. Do you have
I do have
life
life.
3?
Yes.
You could make such an item that is designed to heal upon a single use.
That's fair. I forgot about that. We're all thinking about hurting things. We're all thinking about
Okay.
hurting things. All right. Well, let's make some med packs
Okay.
or some happy pills.
How many dots of stamina do you have?
I have one at the moment.
Wonderful.
He's
Wonderful.
itty bitty. He's itty bitty. He's
So,
only like 3'4".
You,
Yes,
I will,
I have not invested yet in the staminas. That's what
I
need to-
will allow you to make your way to a hermetic sanctum for your crafting needs here, which will reduce the difficulty by 2. And it will make the effect itself coincidental, which means that overall what you're going to do is going to be a difficulty of 4. And if you can roll your Arte for me.
If I can get to the actual thing to roll it. Where is the goddamn? And boop. Got 3 successes.
You have a decision to make. You can attempt to push yourself to create more, to roll more, to get more successes that you will divide between potency and duration. Duration will be how long these items stay fresh or usable, and potency will be how much they can heal when used. Right now you have 3 successes, divide between those 2. You could push yourself by making a stamina roll. If you fail the stamina roll, all the successes you've gained so far will be lost. If you succeed, you will get to make another roll and attempt to gain more successes.
How long are they good for with per like thing, per point?
I believe it actually increases over time. Let me double check. I will confirm. Here it is. 1 success will make it work only for 1 turn, and then every success over that will increase it from 1 scene all the way up to much longer than that. So what that means is when these.
So they're good until they're used, though. I guess is what I meant. Like,
Yes,
it's not
they
going to
will be
spoil.
used. No, not unless something happens to them. 1 success will make it a kind of a burst heal type effect.
Okay.
More successes can make it a reoccurring heal or a heal over time style effect.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. But,
Are you going to make the stamina roll?
it's like I got a success.
If you succeed, you can make 1 more Arte roll.
That was close. That was right on the dotted line.
right there. Just
right there. Right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's okay.
Right, you're up to 4. You can make another stamina roll. This time the difficulty is 7, or you can stop with your 4 successes.
We'll count our blessings right here. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got 4 successes. The split between potency and what is the potency count for like each invested point?
Each one will give you another level of health. Actually, the first success will give you doesn't heal anything. The second success is 2 levels of damage. 3 success represents 6 levels of damage. Then 4 becomes 8. 5 becomes 10. And then 6 plus is equal as number of successes times 2.
Okay. And then you're saying like 1 success is instant duration, 2 successes is like recurring for
Yes.
1 round or 1 scene?
For 1 scene for 2 successes. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well then let's do 2 on duration. and then we'll do 2 on potency.
All right, write that down. I will allow you to determine the name for your charms. You have 6 of those because I believe your arte is 3.
Yeah.
And I will let you determine what they look like as well. The kind of basically the descriptions of your items are entirely up to you, but they will heal 2 levels of damage for an entire scene, and every turn in that scene. If you
When
want
you
them to
say
use
levels-
aggravated damage,
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
will
trying
need
to
to spend quintessence as well. The person using
Oh.
it will need to spend quintessence.
Oh, the person using it has to spend the quintessence.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Whoever is using it needs to spend that quintessence.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when you say 2 levels, is that bashing or lethal?
Both.
Both.
Either or. Both or either or. Just whatever damage you have.
Gotcha.
All right.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, it'll probably be it'll be something sturdy enough to not break if it's dropped, but also easy to consume. I'm thinking flasks. Maybe little small flasks.
Whiskey? Okay.
Sure.
You
Little
do the
test
Lord's
tube.
work?
Little test tube size one.
Jaharu.
Just be like, it's a shot.
Haru, it is your turn. What would you like to spend your time working on?
Chiharu is very nervous over the fact that this is taking place in LA, which is filled with tons of sleepers, versus the fact that we were dealing with werewolves knee deep in a Karen. So the items associated with vulgarity with his actions wasn't as severe. So Chiharu is going to look for Claremine and ask, since she was the one that crafted the item for him, Chiharu assumes that perhaps Claremine may have a soft spot for him. And he's going to ask her if she has any guidance on how to eliminate vampires in a coincidental way that doesn't interfere with the manipulation of chi. Because technically, Chiharu could just start doing action attacks with flamethrowers. I mean, with aerosol cans in his hands. But does that really mesh with the brotherhood way per se? So he's trying to find that sense of balance of